Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom reviews. You see by title below, this is on episode 9 of Rewrite, and I gotta say, this episode, it was, well, the first half, it definitely felt like I thought it was just gonna be full-on serious out the rest of these episodes. Everything was going down and stuff. We got pretty much our informational stuff in the last one, with, of course, Kagari being, we had our comedy in that last one, and I expected there to be some comedy, of course, still yet, maybe here and there, but I didn't expect for pretty much half the episode to be comedy-like kind of stuff. We did get some fan service in as well with the whole bathroom kind of scene, which was funny and cute to see, but like I don't think it was really necessary to have that fan fiction. Though if you like Kagari, fan fiction, then hey, there you go, right? But pretty much the first half was definitely more. It was just Kagari trying to figure out who she is still yet. They're going into the city and stuff, trying to look for stuff, and it was definitely more a lighthearted comedy kind of aspect to it. Still haven't gone into the real like seriousness until towards the second half of the episode. I thought it was going to get really serious once we saw at the end of last week's episode, with obviously the whole thing with Kotori being in this place with a bunch of tree monsters thing in CG Wonderland, and of course stuff with Akane, the Guardians, for getting more of the old hunters back in action as well. I thought literally that this episode would have been the start of the more serious kind of stuff. Though I did enjoy it. It was definitely more of a kind of a build-up, an informational build-up. Like towards the second half, I actually really enjoyed learning more about things. For example, one of the things I was wondering about before was the fact that I never understood like who. We already know that half the girls are in Gaia, half the girls are in Guardian, and Kotoro, we don't really know what's going on with him, but Kotori, I've always wondered, like, she knows more than she lets on. Like, who is she? What is she? And then we finally find out in this episode that she is actually a druid. So that was pretty interesting and cool to learn about, including a whole bunch of other things with the key, with Earth. Pretty much this episode, towards the second half, is pretty much that everyone is trying to save Earth. That's not a lie. It's just the way they want to do it is obviously different. We have Gaia pretty much want to start fresh, take away all the humans because the humans are the threat to the world and everything, and you see what they're trying to do. Then you have Guardian, to which they want to destroy the key, because if they destroy the key, they think that Gaia will no longer be able to do that and Earth will be saved. Though they're pretty much wrong, considering we find out that the key, Kagari, is actually like Earth itself in human form. So I'm pretty sure if you kill Kagari, you're pretty much killing the world, destroying the world. So that's not a good thing as well, right? So like I'll get more in on that towards the end of this, but I want to talk about the first half. First off, pretty much we do get to see that they are going, there's a bunch of comedy aspects to it, a bunch of things like obviously him going with Kagari needing her fake cough or whatever she calls it, and everyone's like, oh, call the cops. It looks like I need it, and that part was pretty funny. Also seeing the guy that we saw a couple episodes back, that he's part of Guardian as well, and he was pretty much, there are three groups all trying to follow Kotoro and see what's going on. We got the fairies trying to help Gaia. We got that guy, I forget his name, I don't even know if they said his name, but that guy trying to follow for Guardian. And then of course we have Chibi Moth for Kotori and her being a druid, to which of course it ends up with that guy getting his ass kicked by Chibi Moth, the fairies, and then Yoshino coming in with his group of his gang beating him up as well. And it's pretty cool to see that. I know a lot of people have told me, and I worded it wrong last time, but what I meant is that he's pretty much in the common route a lot, but then after, you guys said he's not really shown at all. So it's pretty interesting to see that they're still throwing him in, also with Chibi Moth as well. As someone said that Chibi Moth is kind of like the mascot, but he doesn't really show up a huge role, but he like later on. But this one he did show up pretty much throughout the whole episode, him helping out, and of course finding out that he is like a mammoth monster kind of thing, but transformed. Kotori used the magic to transform him to look like a dog, to which I still don't understand. He does not look like a dog. He looks cute, I'll give you that, but he doesn't look like a dog. He actually looks closer to a pig, in my opinion, to be honest. But yeah, overall, they're pretty much trying to find him. You see, Yoshin, I think they called him. It's pretty funny to see that he does care about them. I do like that kind of aspect that's showing him in there, and obviously he is pretty much, helping them out towards the end. He does care about him and Kotori. I'm not too sure. He's probably not going to show up anymore after this, because I think after this episode, or maybe after next episode for sure, we'll start to get super serious as all the organizations are on the move, pretty much sending out their best of the best, as you saw at the very end. But this episode, for me, in my opinion, was definitely interesting once they finally got to, the CG Wonderland that is the Kotori, and we get to learn about her past, get to learn more about her, how she became a druid, to which, of course, we see 10 years ago, she pretty much ended up dying, or not dying, she almost died. She got in a car accident, her parents were dead, she ends up finding that tree, and then all of a sudden, like, I don't know if the subtitles are wrong, but I guess they said mistletoe, so she ends up finding mistletoe, gets her wish, but then she ends up becoming a druid. And we even see that there was past relation kind of thing, that Kotoro pretty much confesses to Kotori, and she ends up rejecting him. We don't know why. I'm guessing it has something to do with being druid and stuff like that. But it'll be pretty interesting to see if they delve more into that as well, because I know this is not a Kotori route. This is an anime original route, more focused on Kagari. Now, does that mean he's going to end up with her? I'm not too sure if that's how it's gonna be, but it's obviously not going towards any of the other girls. This is a separate, different type of route that they wanted to show off in the anime, so it'll be interesting to see how everything will go on and converge from this point, because pretty much we got all the basics down, all the informational down. We finally got the information on what everyone's trying to do. That whole pool that was right there, that pretty much is the power of the magic of Earth, and that's why that's another interesting thing that we learned, that Kotori could use that as a source, and that's why she's able to create all these monsters, while Gaia, it's pretty much they're using their life force. That's why at the end you see them all like slowly dying, not like they're just dropping, trying to create this new monster, which I gotta say, all the monsters so far have been all CG monsters. That dinosaur T-Rex looking thing at the end was not. It looked pretty badass, and I was like, holy shit, that's a giant T-Rex or something like that. I don't know if that's supposed to be a dragon, because I know that the leaf thing before, it was a leaf dragon, so I'm not too sure if this is supposed to be a dragon as well. It looks more like a T-Rex, so I'm definitely excited to see that thing fight. That's why I said at the end, it looks like it's going to get more serious, because Gaia is on the move with making this big dinosaur T-Rex looking thing. Guardians bringing in the best of their best, the old guys that are pretty much like the best before, out of retirement, coming in to fight. So things I'm expecting to see in the next episode will be more action. We do get to see the guy with the wolf show up again, and he looks like he does find out that Kagari is the key. So he was trying to chase after them, to which, of course, you do see that that's another thing with Kagari. Besides finding out finally, where she came from, which is right over there, and actually Kotori saw her all along, is that for some reason, obviously, she lost her memory. We saw the rock thing, and all of a sudden, she's completely different now. Even Kotori says she's completely different than, how she was before. She's more human-like. But in that part, when the dogs were attacking her, we did see a brief moment where her eyes just, changed, and all of a sudden, just kills them with the ribbons, and all of a sudden, she's back to normal, like, oh, what? Huh? What happened? So, I'm not too sure if, at chemo, instincts kind of thing, when something you're in danger kind of thing, it'll come back and then she goes back to normal. She's finally learned about her, who she is and everything like that, but she's still, the Kagari that we all love and know right now at the moment. So I'm wondering too, in the future episodes, which I cannot wait to see, is if she ever regains her memories from what happened before, will she still be the same? Will she still retain all the memories before with Kotoro and all this kind of stuff? And that may be a possible development where she forgets all of that for a moment, and Kotoro has to try and fight to get her back and try and get her back to how she was before, or at least remember how she was before, and she'll be kind of remembering a little, a bit of both of how she was before and now. So it'd definitely be interesting to see how that development will go on in the future. I could definitely see that being a big thing that happens later on, where all of a sudden she somehow forgets who Kotoro is, kind of thing. That would definitely be a pretty surprising, dramatic kind of thing if they end up doing that as well. So other than that, that was pretty much the episode. Like I said, pretty much the first half was kind of a comedy, fan servicey kind of episode, with them trying to figure out who Kagari is, to which, of course, obviously they're getting chased by all the groups. And then, of course, we get into the big seriousness, and obviously I almost forgot to mention, actually, another big thing is those fairy things. I'm actually quite surprised that they ended up betraying Kotoro, because sure, Sakuya sent them out to go do a job and everything, but I expected, after one of them has a contract, he said, with Kotoro, that they would try, even though the other guy, locked them in, and sure, they're in this as now, like this as well, but you already know Kotoro is a nicer person and everything. So I'm kind of surprised that they would end up betraying him and telling Sakuya, where they are and everything. I'm quite surprised on that. And I'm also surprised why no one was watching, them that whole time. And why did they even bring them in the first place? Was it really needed to bring them? But it'll be interesting to see what Sakuya has planned as well. When he jumps off the building, it looks pretty badass. But that's another big thing, like what is going to happen when he finally gets there, since he knows where they are. But how is he going to get in there? I'm not too sure. But it'll definitely be interesting to see if we get, another action scene with, Kotori's maybe tree monster things to fight him, or maybe it'll be him versus Kotoro. I'm not too sure. That's another big thing that I was actually really interested in as well, is Kotoro. It seems that he has brief gaps in his memory throughout the season, throughout certain events and everything. 10 years ago, he doesn't know what happened to Kotori, but he's like, 10 years ago, huh? So there's like these brief moments where like there's gaps in his memory that it definitely interests me to wonder who he really is, because we already know, like I said before, we know Akane and Chihaya are in Gaia, Lucia and Shizuru are in Guardian, and then we see that Kotori is a druid. But who is Kotoro? He has a huge role, a main role in this. He has some type of, he can rewrite his abilities. He also has that claw thing, that Wolverine thing that has the same look as what the pool from the earth is. So that's definitely interesting, especially also with the fact that in the opening, the first opening, we do see that he's in like some abandoned wasteland ruins looking at a picture of the past. So I'm not too sure if he has like the ability to go back in time or go to the future or something like that, but it's definitely interesting to think about that something may come up in the future episodes where all of a sudden he has like this huge role and he actually is bigger than everyone else. That is definitely interesting, and definitely the one thing that I had in my back of my mind, besides of course can't wait to see how all the organizations clash, because obviously they are building up their strength. So I cannot wait to see how that action parts will be. But it's definitely an interesting thing to see how Kotori, Kotoro, and Kagari will end up going along with this, because they're stuck in the middle of everything. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say in the episode. Overall, a pretty good informational build-up episode to what's going to come. There's only 3 episodes after this, 4 episodes after this. Yeah, after this episode is 4 episodes left. So I honestly don't know how everything's going to go. I forget if someone mentioned, I'm not too sure if there will be a second season to all of this. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how all of this will, finish off going towards what's going to be happening. Everything I'm predicting, maybe the next episode we'll get another build-up episode, and then the 3 last episodes will be explosive and just blow our minds. That's what I think. But yeah, that's all I really got to say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And as always, visual novel readers, how do you guys feel about the developments that happened in this episode? How do you think, in your thoughts, what do you think how this route is going towards? Are you enjoying it so far? Without spoiling too much, what was missing, what was, not missing obviously, but what was taken from the original source into this that made it so much better or made it so much worse? What did you like? What did you dislike? I always like to hear your thoughts from the visual novel perspective. And also Anime Watchers Only, if you guys want to comment your thoughts as well. It's always interesting to see everyone, what they think about what happened in a certain episode. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So hope you enjoyed. Oh shit. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, then don't forget to leave a like, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. Really does help the channel. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So till next time, see ya.